Hello everyone and welcome to Mission 11 of the Fear the Bones campaign for the F-14 and DCS world. This one called Dawn Patrol, and so let's just give it over to the in-game briefing.
Rise and shine, fellas, it's time for another patrol. The AO is between Novorossiysk and Sochi, Angels 2-1. The good news is that Ranger has arrived, and they're going to cover the area to the west between Novorossiysk and Yalta. Jaws, Jester, your Pontiac 1-1. Elvis and Glory, your Dash 2. Ghost, Pyro, Caveman, and Grip will relieve you on station at 0700. Warning Yellow, weapons free. Dismissed.
And unfortunately this mission really starts very slowly. Has an hour and a half where nothing happens other than voice stabs, so let's just run through those.
Pontiac 1 checking in with 2 times F-14 as bragged. Pontiac 1 copy. We have you at Bowls 230 for 105. Picture clean. Proceed with your patrol. Wizard, Pontiac 1, roger. Pushing to waypoint 1. 2, wheels up.
This is CNN's Prime News, taking the time to examine world events, issues, and newsmakers, with Bernard Shaw in Washington and Susan Rook in Atlanta.
Good evening, America. Despite our best efforts, we have been unable to initiate peace talks with the Soviet Union. General Secretary Gorbachev refuses to negotiate with the United States, and the situation on the Black Sea is escalating. We have 2 carrier battle groups in the area. The USS Theodore Roosevelt and the USS Ranger have launched strikes on the ports of Batumi and Novorossiysk. 2 more carriers are headed to the Black Sea, and the Air Force has launched several bombing raids from their bases in West Germany, against targets near Minsk, Kiev, and Leningrad. Despite the rapid escalation of events, the White House is hopeful to negotiate peace before an all-out nuclear war commences.
Jester, you awake back there? Man, once I get back to the ship, remind me to take a picture of the 2 of us with our Tomcat. Laura asked me to send her one because the kids in her class keep asking about us. Guess all of them want to be naval aviators when they grow up. Wait until they see your ugly face. I'm sure they'll change their minds. With friends like you. Wizard, Pontiac 1 passing waypoint 1, Angels 2-1. Pontiac 1 copy. We have nothing to report. Proceed as briefed. Pontiac 1. Copy. Switching to steer point 2. Pontiac 1-2. I guess the Ruskies don't like to get up too early. Yeah, so calm and peaceful up here. Look at the mountains and the fog and the valleys. Would sure love to visit once this mess is over. Hell, not me. You know I'm allergic to socialism. Come on, bro. Don't be such a dick. Those people will probably be allergic to you, too. Wizard, Pontiac 1 passing waypoint 2 as flagged. Request picture. Wizard to Pontiac 1. Picture clean. Picture clean. Pontiac 1 pushing to waypoint 1. Roger. Switching to steer point 1. I think those bastards are up to something. It's the calm before the storm, I'm telling you. 20 MiGs are probably taking off somewhere beyond those mountains. I hope not. Maybe they've had enough of playing war. Nah, man, they are crazy. They won't stop until they nuke everything. We've got to wipe them all out. All of them. I'm sure Gorbachev doesn't have the support of the entire population. I wager there are factions within the party. That's why he's going all in. As soon as he backs out, it's over for him. Smart ass. Hey, Doc. Is it true that you're a Top Gun graduate? Yeah, back in '86. It was a terrific experience. We worked our butts off, but I'll tell you what, there are no more professional officers in the Navy and Marine Corps than Navy fighting weapons school instructors. I felt really privileged to have the opportunity to train with them. Sick. How was it? I heard you had an accident, too. That's a firm. We were doing a 2v2 hop. I was right behind my lead who was chasing an A4. He couldn't get a clear shot, so he pulled hard right. That's when we flew through his jet wash. Both engines stalled and we got into a flat spin. We punched out, but my Rio hit the ejected canopy. He was knocked out and died 3 hours later in the hospital. Oh, man. That's terrible. I bet you were devastated. I was, but I had to get back on my feet quickly. There was a crisis situation in the Indian Ocean, and we shipped out right away. That's where you got your 2 kills. Yeah, I'll tell you all about it some other time. One out. Blizzard Pontiac 1, passing waypoint 1 as fragged. Yeah, Pontiac, push to waypoint 2 and anchor there until further notice. Pontiac 2 is having some trouble taking off. Roger that. Pushing to waypoint 2.
You got it. Switching to 2.2.
Sure that SOB just overslept. Pontiac 1, Wizard, be advised, the Rangers Tomcats from VF1 just intercepted 2 fencers near Yalta. Keep your eyes peeled, we think they may be preparing an attack. Wizard, Pontiac 1, copy. Rock bastards. Oh! Man, these commies like to bore us to death. Want to play a game to keep you awake? I spy with my little eye something that begins with the letter D. I got it, Elvis. D for douchebag. Very funny, Mr. Holmes. Jaws, you guys remember our Westpac cruise last year? Hell, that first night at the QBO Club was the best party of my entire life. I remember when Tag had so many thermonukes he passed out. Yeah, right after he rode Dilbert Dunker all the way to the pool. And you walked out with 3 hookers. How come your dick didn't fall off? Good times. What's that thermonuke? And what's that Dilbert Dunker? You'll find out when the hair finally grows on your balls, baby boy. Thermonukes are the QBO Club special shots. You don't want to know what's in there. A Dilbert Dunker is a 6-foot contraption you strap Pontiac 1, you're cleared direct to tanker. TAC in 74 X-ray. Contact Arco on uniform channel 3. Report was back on frequency once you're off the tanker. I need you back on station. Pontiac 2 is still facing some difficulties. Pontiac 1 copies. Channel 3 uniform. We'll be right back with you.
Roger.
Difficulties. That son of a bitch. Arco Pontiac 1 flight request rejoin 2 times F-14. Come on in, boys. We're open.
Now, it does give an option here to skip the air-to-air refueling. Now, I had been at this, as I said, for 90 minutes solid with nothing happening. I was very tired and really not in the mood for air-to-air refueling, so I did pick the option just to skip it. I know I wussed out, but I was not in the mood. Thankfully, this is when something actually starts happening.
2-1, go button 2. Button 2.
Alright.
Wizard, Pontiac 1 flight back with you. Pontiac 1, Wizard, Roger, just in time. We have a pop-up group, Bulls 130 for 90 at Angels 30, tracking northwest. Looks like a candidate escorted by 2 fighters. Please investigate. Turn 060 to intercept. Pontiac 1, Roger, turning 060.
Looks like nails. One.
So the Rusty's finally woken up, huh? Wonder what the cargo is if they sent 2 fighters to escort it. Angels 30. Pontiac 1, the escort fighters are going.
Nails on our nose. 12 o'clock.
Your priority is the fulcrums. Pontiac 1, Roger, committing.
Here at 50 miles, I ordered Jester to lock.
Yes, sir. Locking. Target. 55 miles.
Taking off from Beslan at Bull 090 for 210. Climbing through Angels 3, Colt. Pontiac 1, copy that.
So here we're starting to get quite close to them. They begin to lock us in a moment, at which point I decide to order my wingman to engage.
12 o'clock. And, oh, nails. 1 o'clock.
Yep, so getting nailed by the enemies there, I fire off my Fox 3. I only have one Fox 3 on this mission, so that was the only one I have. Rather extreme range, but it is a long-range weapon, and they are currently heading straight at me at full burner. And if nothing else, I think that this should give them something to worry about. Now, this wasn't my first attempt at this combat. I tried this multiple times, so I had some practice here. They launch on me, so I decide, right, don't worry about keeping the lock, just make sure that their missile doesn't hit home. I did fire a Fox 3, so it does have a chance of tracking on its own. Unfortunately, nothing comes of it. Since I broke the lock and both bandits are going evasive, I recommit here, trying to get a lock. Trying to keep an eye on both of them, picking whichever one I think is going to be the best target. A missile gets launched on me. Jester tells me to brake left, so I do. I don't get any nails, so I think that's a Fox 2 that was launched. So, trying to pick it out, don't see anything. Don't even see a missile trail, so not sure if that was a bit of an error on Jester's part. Put nose on again, I've lost sight of the lower of the two targets, but I do see this one here moving right to left. Trying to get him locked up with POW, but that's not working right now. I managed to get a lock, but on my wingman. Now, fire Fox 1 at the target after I get a lock there. Immediately try to notch it as getting locked back. You can see two missiles in the air, one from me, one from my number 2. Trying to maintain the lock here. Get a call out that we are being spiked from 8 o'clock. And turn just in time to see this Fulcrum here, who was just about to get a really good shot on me. Instead he overshoots, he then attacks my wingman. Fires a missile at my wingman, can see the wingman down there. Well, that might have been my wingman who was firing there. I may have been misremembering. Either way, I do get visual on this guy down here. I fire, and there we go. Get a splash there. 1 MiG-29 down. It's rather a chaotic situation, all in all. Still one enemy up. I am, at this point, out of Sparrows. I am out of Fox 3s, so I'm just down to my 3 Fox 2s. Do get eyes on friendly here. This is my wingman, but he is saying that he's engaging. So, trying to get eyes on. Do get sight there. Enemies just above. My wingman has turned to engage and fires. And there we go, my wingman gets the splash. So quite a fun, quite a difficult little engagement there. We do get the option whether to R2B or engage the transport. I do opt to engage the transport at this point, just to see if I can catch it. And this starts a fairly long chase. The transport is already over the land. So, continue heading north, start closing in, can see the transport there up ahead, out of Sparrow range, even if I had any, well out of Sidewinder range. Get the order there to turn around. Last, as I said, I repeated this a few times. Annoyingly, only after a few attempts did I realise you can shift R to repeat from the refueling point. Either way, here, previous time I'd managed to shoot down this transport, so try going for it here. I think the previous time I just had a bit more range, and I also had a Sparrow. Here I'm really out of range, but because 4 Fulcrums are being scrambled, I do just fire off one and then turn away. Now, do get an alert there, the SAM sites at Soki are coming online. That's what killed me on my first attempt. And here we can see the missile going towards the enemy, but it really just doesn't have enough energy to make it. So instead, I turn away and just try and get out of there. So I did manage to shoot that down before, but that was with a Sparrow. I think the best bet for trying to take out that transport would be to go full burners on the Intercept and save a Phoenix for actually engaging the transport. I got fairly lucky in my first attempt that the initial combat was really quick so that I could get chasing very fast. This one I got delayed a fair bit. Either way, we turn back, we head back home, and then that is the mission. So it is a bit of a strange mission. It was a really, really fun fight though. I actually really enjoyed that fight, even though I had to repeat it a few times. And the shame of it all is it would have been a great mission if it wasn't for the fact it had a 90-minute do-nothing part at the beginning. Even when repeating and I had it on time acceleration, it still took a good half an hour to get to the point where you're doing the air-to-air refueling. What I would suggest to anybody playing this is if you do fail the mission after the air-to-air refueling, if you reset with Shift and R, it does reset to just after the air-to-air refueling, so you don't have to repeat the entire mission. As long as you do have time for that. The first couple of times I tried this, I didn't have time to immediately give the combat another go, and so then had to start right from scratch the next day. Really don't like that kind of map design where you have a very long empty section followed by a very, very difficult section. It's kind of like putting a long unskippable cutscene before a boss fight in an RPG. It's not the best. But yeah, anyway, we managed to splash 2 fulcrums head-on in that engagement. We didn't lose anyone, didn't get the transport in the end, but all pretty good still. Anyway, hopefully that's the last of these sort of very overly long missions, and I hope to catch you in the next episode. Till then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.